Ready?
Yeah.
Call the meeting to order. Motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
A second.
all in favor?
Alright.
Opposed, so moved. Still not supposed to.
No, we got it last week, but
All right,
3
kick
rounds.
your ass.
Yeah, it almost.
Almost okay.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's.
Morning.
Morning.
Have any questions? Obviously, we were beating it up in here, so.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Did you decide which way you want to build these apartments?
Which way? What do you mean?
Last time you,
Oh, yeah,
That's
it's a
what we're gonna-
four-story building.
okay, so you're not doing the townhouses anymore?
No, we can't fit that many units. So by the time, because you lack of land,
Yeah,
so you cannot do townhouses style. Then you will take up, you can only do 72 units if you do that.
okay,
So we have uh, three different buildings with, 42 units on each of them. And then one of them has 2 less, but, it's 120 units.
Okay.
3 buildings.
okay. I looked through your spreadsheets as best I could, and I had some questions on, the gross sales tax. Those figures, 8 million and 12 million, were just plugged into the spreadsheet. They're not a formula. I was wondering where they came from.
The $12 million
Yeah,
is the revenue from 2 hotels. Right, and then, $4 million revenue from the entertainment center.
okay. And that's based on your experience
Right.
running hotels?
Right.
and-
Right,
Okay, and what about the entertainment center?
we don't have experience, but that's what we are hoping that you will make that.
Okay,
And actually, when we talk to few people, like, Monster franchise, they were a lot more than that.
okay,
So we didn't want to put more. Like, with a 40,000 square feet building, having all those things, it would easily make 4 million.
okay,
We didn't want to put more, but that's a franchise that we talked to, the Monster, and things, like the Dave and Buster, that this kind of thing.
okay,
And you do understand that breakdown, there's 8 million that's allocated to the tax for the hotels only. That's the additional tax. So some numbers you'll see 12 and then some numbers you'll see 8 on there.
yeah,
Because the entertainment center won't have the occupancy tax, but the hotel on top of sales tax has another 5% occupancy tax on that 8 million.
okay. I also looked. It seems to me, looking at the spreadsheets, that the apartments are the real moneymaker for you.
I think the hotels are, but, apartment is also, it's all, by the time you get done, you make money, of course, otherwise you'll not be in business.
No, I understand that, but I'm just wondering, it looks like the return on the whole project is about 16% a year.
16% a year,
Yeah.
I don't know how you come up with that, but,
Well, this is
See one of
this is
these?
the gross revenue,
I
this
see what-
was the cash flow.
16%. Okay, if you put in, 40 million,
Yeah.
and you're getting $2 million in return, 2.5, that's not a 16%.
No, I know, but it's 16% of the revenue.
That's not your profit.
No, I know, I'm just, when I looked at 16%, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay,
But then there's 3 separate spreadsheets, one for the entertainment center, one for the hotel, and one
Yeah.
for the apartments.
right.
The one for the apartments is like 27% or more.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering why you don't build more apartments. Because
There's
it's-
more risk in the apartment business.
No,
We
it doesn't.
we know the
work-
hotel
No, it
business.
doesn't work that way. What you are looking at is from the sales, what is the profit?
Yep.
That's,
What is he?
the sales and profit is different from what it costs to build something.
Mhm.
For the investment, you could be selling something that's $10 and you're making $2 profit. Or you could be selling something for $20 and making $5 profit, it doesn't make any difference.
He must be looking at.
Between sales and profit doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything compared to what it
okay.
costs to get that $20.
Yeah.
What does it cost?
Okay.
That's the big difference.
Okay.
So when it comes to apartment, the return is very low actually. Return is the lowest in the apartment. Returns in apartment business, anybody who asks for an apartment business is a lot lower, lower risk, lower return. Apartment sells for 5 cap. Hotel sells for 8 cap. Okay, that's how it is, because it's, because your sales, because the operation cost is a lot lower in an apartment.
Mhm.
Because you have less employees. Right, you don't have much employees who are running the business. You don't pay the utility bills, all that. But your cost to build an apartment is high. Apartment business is very different from a hotel business where you have all the staffing and internet costs and all these franchise fees and everything.
Mhm.
You don't have all that in the apartment. But to build an apartment is that crazy cost. You only make $2,000, $2,500 on rent from a, like, let's say 1,000 square feet building,
Okay.
right? In a hotel, you have, on the same square footage, you have 3 rooms. And you're making close to $75,000 in revenue. It's a two different
No, I-
business, right? So it's but again, there's more risk in a hotel than an apartment.
Okay.
Apartment will have very steady business compared to hotel will go based on all the demands in the area, whatever it is. It's two different.
Okay. Well,
And so basically the way you look at it is like, that's what it is, the average return at the end of everything done. What any investor would look at is, I'm putting in this much money, what is my profit at the end? That's what drives everything.
Mhm.
So when you look at it that way, the average profit on the whole thing, once it's done, we're looking at $2.5 million. Now, on a $40 million investment, that's not a lot.
Mhm.
It's not, there's nothing that you can say it's a great. We look at down the road. It's what it is. I mean, that's, now, would it be better? Who knows? If the entertainment center makes more profit, you don't know that. That's the one that's a wild card for us, but it's a very small piece of the puzzle. As a cost wise,
Okay.
Right.
It doesn't cost that much to build that building, right?
no, it's about $15 million compared to the 2 hotels and the apartment, right? So, it's a lesser investment. So when you look at the total investment, 90 million, 15 million is the apartment, I mean, the entertainment center.
Okay.
That's how it is. I mean, so when you look at, sorry about that.
It's okay.
I think though, I want to say something that I think everyone needs to understand is, and John, you'll know from the banking industry, obviously apartments are a safer investment as far as a bank is concerned. We do know hotels better. But when you take the risk at this project, we know these hotels are going to succeed in North Utica because we have all our hotels in North Utica. North Utica is very transient. It has the restaurants. There's still a lot of risk on the investment side of the apartments. North Utica has its own issues with public safety. All right, it's easier when it's transient versus your residential component. And we need to make sure this is a secure apartment complex. We need to make sure it's built correctly and it succeeds from the beginning. Because if you don't do it right from the beginning, that's going to carry with you for a long time with the apartment component. Now, take the hotel versus restaurant component in North Utica. One of the reasons the restaurants succeed, I'm sorry about that, in North Utica could be the fact that it's a very transient customer base. It's not as local as people would think. And transient bases that come and go tend to forget sometimes if an experience wasn't 100%. And versus your local community, which says, hey, I got a bad meal, I'm not going back there, so on and so forth. So this neighborhood, and I developed Tavolo as the landowner of that building. and sold out with Sal, and it's exactly why he succeeded versus Bleecker Street. And he'll tell you that as much as everyone says things about Bleecker Street, he thinks that the community on Bleecker Street was probably a little bit less outrageous than the community we have on North Genesee Street. So there is, when we talk about doing this project and why it's an extraordinary pilot, this is an extraordinary project. Not only substantially in dollars, but substantially in the fact that if we have to do it all right, we've spent the last 15 years developing that entire corridor from when there was brick industrial buildings there. We're not telling you to say yes and just vote because we're asking for it, but we're asking you to look in the fact and say, what is it if I say no? We will go build one hotel because we already own the land for one of these hotels, but you may be sitting there 7 years, 10 years, looking at just what you see today. And I think as a community, it has to be considered. I don't say it should be your only choice, but you do need to say, yes, this is an extraordinary ask, but they are also taking extraordinary risk. And I always struggle, I remember apartment money, they'll give you longer term because you guys do feel a little bit safer. We have one of the best hotelers that I've ever met, that knows how to run what he runs. And as far as us learning the entertainment business, the entertainment side of this component, by the way, is a community service for us. Okay, it's not like we wanted to build something that had an entertainment component. We did this because of Nexus, because what we're seeing is a lot of families coming to this place that are going in and out of their games and their weekends here, and the kids have nothing to do. Now, we're taking a risk to try to help the community in that aspect. Obviously, we're looking to make money with that risk, but if we built a third hotel there versus a 40,000 entertainment center, it'd be better for us. The mayor pushed us, always wanting an entertainment component. This was a mixed-use development project. We could have met the mixed-use requirements without doing what we're doing. I mean, I think, and as an investor with Andy, I am, just so you understand my position, I'm not here as a broker. I've spent 7 years on this project, and what I'm getting paid as a broker, I've lost money. But I'm an investor with Andy in 30 of his hotels, and I'll invest in this project. I would be, as an investor, I'm against the entertainment center, as for my dollar. But he wants to give back to the community. And I just think when you say we're giving you a lot, just remember we're taking a lot of risk because Andy wants to give back to Utica.
At the same time, I would probably add to it that end of the day, I mean, as a land compared to what we are giving back, I mean, you're gonna get back on the sales tax and the fact that now you have more vibrant businesses in town, more better place to stay in the city, and entertainment center. It's an uplift to the city where one thing fits the other. We all know that if there are people gonna stay there, they're gonna spend some money in our city. It's a given fact. I mean, it's no brainer. They're gonna eat somewhere, they're gonna shop somewhere, they're gonna do other stuff. They play golf, I don't know what they do, but they'll do different things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a value that one business brings. Now, for us to do the project without the IDA, all day long, no. Then we can't do it. There's absolutely no way. It doesn't even make sense. And then with the idea now, the new laws say you have to do with privileged wages. That also adds 15% to the cost. So, I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, if we do a lot of projects, and is this like a slam dunk project for us? No, it's not, dollar-wise. We invest money with dollars where we get a lot better return than this all day long. It's a project that we decide to do it, and we're gonna commit to do it. After this day, today is my last day, we're very frank. If you guys, Utica wants us, we'll do this project. We don't want it. We adjusted everything we can. It's a site that has a lot of issues, a lot of stuff, that we have promised many times that we'll take care of it at the IDA level. You take this on, you take this on, you take this on, and we've done all of that. So I think at this point now, I can't say any more than that, really.
No, I mean, you love the community. The community's been good to
No,
us.
continue to do
You've been
what
good
we
to the
do. I mean,
community.
That's fine, I mean.
It's
nothing
really
wrong
your
with that.
decision now if you want this project or not. We're grateful for your time, but honestly, we have spent over 7 years with the LDC working on this project. That's a long time.
No, it's part of our fault too. We also said we'll do water park before, and we tried, and my investors and everybody got nervous. We said we'll do it, I said we'll do it. And, it's something that, so it just the time span was not because of anybody's fault, it just happened. That it took time, but that's where we are at.
I guess we'll just leave it for any more questions.
I don't have any more.
Come on.
No.
Yeah, nothing. Right,
We're good?
you were
We're
good?
good.
Thank
All
you.
right, well, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Andy, have a good trip.
Thank you.
I'm already having a good day.
I'll see you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Moment of truth. Thing.
The rec center on 840 and the other one over on 233, I mean, they're doing pretty good, aren't they? So this rec center, or whatever you're gonna call it, should do pretty good. I mean, the kids are
Those,
looking.
that's more like a soccer
Two different
field.
kinds?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, one is Accelerate, sorry, John.
Yeah, I'm talking about accelerant. I mean, that's packed all the time.
This is more like a bowling and miniature golf.
Why
and
wouldn't
that,
they
where
do another accelerant then?
Because
That's
the
where
kids
they,
are here to play hockey. They're
Yeah.
already,
they're
yeah,
not gonna-
because of the one. over
They're
there.
already playing.
right, so they're not gonna play soccer when they're
This is
on the
an
weekend. They
entertainment.
just want a diversion. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something to keep them off the street, keep them out of downtown.
But I think the Nexus Center is closer to an
Yeah.
accelerant, well, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
Yeah.
right.
Right.
so this is something that they can do when they're not at.
Yeah.
Playing their sports, yeah.
You know, I do see the community aspect of it, and if he's saying he's getting a lower ROI on this, but again, you look at the entirety of their holdings here. He's
Yeah.
gonna make it up elsewhere.
Mhm.
You know, he is a quality developer. Extensive experience, throughout, you know, at least New York State, if not the Northeast. To my knowledge, he's done everything he said he would do on all his projects here. You know, the danger, shouldn't say danger, concern I have as a banker and as someone in the city of Utica is all these developers coming in from outside the market. We don't know them as well as we know folks that are in our market. Unfortunately, folks in our market are not, do not have the means to do what some of the outside developers do, so. But Andy's been in this market 10+ years, and I think him taking over the Hotel Utica was a sign of his commitment. Again, if I'm lending money, I would lend money to his group, just based on, you know, what, you know, some of the strengths I just noted. The weaknesses, I don't disagree, Mark, with, you know, what was said earlier. And we are supporting him and help him attract other investors to do this. This is a high-risk project for our developers. There's no question based on environmental concerns, and I'm sure there's some indemnification in there, but still, it adds to the cost of doing these projects that would not be there if it was a clean, shovel-ready site. So I do understand some of the concerns he and his team had.
There still are environmental issues down there? That should be all cleaned up by now. It's
Well,
40
there's
years.
restrictions as to what they can, how they can build,
Yeah,
right? They
right.
can't go any ground.
Well,
They can only
because,
go up,
yeah, because, but that's,
But it adds cost. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at up the street, on 12 with, United Auto. I was part of the original financing for that. And I know for a fact that once you get in there and you get in the ground and all the soft costs and engineering costs you have to go in there, that first phase doesn't make money. It really doesn't. It's only when, in this case, where you see the other development they've done with UCP and the healthcare center. Again, I'm not affiliated with that project anymore. I'm sure this is where he's getting his return on investment is now. It certainly wasn't in the beginning. You know, Andy and his team could run into some additional soft costs or hard costs because of the site you're building in.
Unless you had the change in the law where now you gotta use the prevailing wage rate. When we started this project.
Yeah, and then with New York
Excuse me.
being a cargo owner, you're under significant restrictions from, you know, how you manage it, you know, the rent you charge, how you manage, tenants aren't paying, how do you evict them, how long it takes. He's right, that's a tougher business than hotels.
Yeah.
But if he's half as successful as, Air City Lodge, you know, with those apartments. You know, that'll make him he'll sleep better at night if he has the success that Panaccio had out there.
He's got water. I probably can't call the vote because I'm conflicted.
Right, Mark, you'll have to serve as chair for
Okay.
this, and has a motion been made? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Waiting for me? What are we waiting to?
See to have everybody vote on it.
You know. Just, I'm sure you've all heard the quotation that patriotism is the last refuge of a scoundrel. I think love of community is the last refuge of a developer.
Put that one in the minutes. I like
How do you
that.
spell that?
I'll use that at the bank.
Nonetheless, I think he's sincere. I mean,
Yeah.
I looked him in the eye and was,
He never dodges a question.
no. Okay, so I think we've all learned what we needed to learn, and now call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So move, so approve.
Couldn't do.
So who was first?
John. One other thing before we adjourn, this is.
Oh, you have a secret resolution also for this project to adopt.
Okay,
If you'd like to make the motion to consider a secret resolution, I can explain the
okay,
process. so.
then I will do that. I'll make the motion to have you explain the process of this secret.
So the city of Utica, there was a general environmental impact study done for the harbor area, which contemplated this kind of a project. The city delivered a letter last week confirming that this specific project will be constructed in conformance with the GEIS. So they determined they did not have to do a further seeker review for this specific project. So the seeker resolution you are adopting today is not about the construction of the project, but the financial assistance you're granting, which does not have any environmental impact. So you will serve as lead agency for the seeker for just the financial assistance as an unlisted action.
Okay, that was that letter from Brian?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So do I need a motion to
Yeah.
approve that?
Yes.
Can I move? Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
No. Today's Mark's last meeting. He's, leaving us to go do some good work in Syracuse with the refugees, and
Oh,
just want to acknowledge all the effort he's put in over the years.
well, we should all be gone, right? We got a new mayor. Doesn't he get to,
Nice try.
Please.
Is that a wish or is that?
That's priority, that's where, we're here.
You serve at the pleasure of the king.
Well, I want to thank Mark for everything he's done.
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoyed it. Learned a lot.
So what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Well, I've been doing a lot of pro bono work in Syracuse for a volunteer lawyers project that assists refugees seeking asylum in the United States, mostly Afghan refugees and Ukrainian refugees. It's I kind of got into it thinking it would be less stressful, but
Wrong.
Not dealing with human lives.
Right.
yeah, I've got guys who got lost in the airport in Kabul, separated from their family, and they got evacuated to Qatar and eventually to the United States, but their wife and son were on the wrong plane and never got here. Yeah, so.
And they don't know where they are.
No, they know where they are, but they can't get them out of the country.
Right.
You know, and
Wait.
the immigration system is just completely overwhelmed. It can't come close to handling the southern border, much less Venezuela, Afghanistan,
Okay.
Ukraine. And, so I've got clients that have been waiting like over 2 years for asylum approval. And these were guys that were in special forces fighting side by side with Americans for 10 years. And I've got a guy that's all he did all his life is fight wars. He's 30 years old. And, had highest security clearance that there was when he was over there, and he still doesn't have a decision on his asylum application. And that's the first step. He gets asylum, then he can apply for derivative asylum for his family, for his wife and son, and, but, you know, in Afghanistan, you can't walk into your local passport office and say, I want a passport. They'll, you know, where are you going? And then they'll say, where's your husband? And if they find out he's here, then they're cooked, so. Well, it's not as less, it's not as, but just about as stressful as standing next to a guy who's going away for 20 years to life, if you lose.
do you work out of Syracuse?
Yeah.
Where in Syracuse?
It's on South Warren Street. 220, I think.
Downtown.
Yeah, it's downtown, but I can do, you know, a lot of the paperwork at home.
Yeah.
The hearings are either in Buffalo, Manhattan, or New Jersey. Luckily, I've been in Buffalo for mine, so.
Even that's a high.
Yes.
It's a great thing you're doing though.
Yeah.
Well, these guys work hard.
Mhm.
Had a Ukrainian client that I was helping him get temporary protected status. If you come from a certain country, you can apply for that, and Ukraine was one of them, and that's where he's from, so he works at Amazon. Like, I think 80% of refugees in Syracuse work at Amazon. And, I said, what hours do you work? 'Cause I have another guy that works there. So he said like, you know, 7 to 5. And so I said, oh, you work 10 hours a day? And he said, yeah. So I was thinking, you know, like nurses and stuff, sometimes they work 3 10s or 3 12 or something. So I said, oh, so you work 4 10s? And he said, no, 6 10s.
Oh, wow.
He works 10 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Wow.
And I said, wow, that's tough. And he said, you know, my family's still in Afghanistan. If I sit home, I just
Mhm.
Think about it.
brood and think about it, so I'd rather be working. It's tough. It's,
Real quick, a motion to adjourn.
Second.
so moved. But, you know, we're on Easy Street.
Yes.
I